Hey, Forever Beautiful. Thanks for coming back, checking me out, y'all. And this is going to be another story time. Okay. Now, before we get into this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you are privy to every single video that I upload, y'all. Ooh, child. Okay, y'all. Now, I'm not sure of the title just yet, but we still going to go ahead and get into it, right? Now, this is going to be about the time that my low down cousin, right, hooked me up with one of his low down buddies. Okay. Now, my cousin had been in and out of jail. I don't even know for how long. Okay. A lot of years back and forth. It's like, you getting too old for this. At some point, you're going to have to get it together. But nevertheless, right? So at this point, I think he was in jail. And then his buddy, he was getting out of jail. Now, calling me, telling me about all of whatever is happening in there, what's going on in there, the ins, the outs. I don't need to know none of it because I ain't got no intentions on finding out for myself. I'm just saying, I have no intentions on experiencing this, right? Now, he was like, yeah, well, oh, I'm in here talking to my celly, my roomie, I think they call it celly, talking to my celly, and he was asking me, oh, if I knew anybody when he got out, he could talk to and all of this. Here I go. Now, I don't do jailbirds, right? I don't need to talk to none because guess what? We ain't gonna get so tight and so close because I ain't sending no letters. I be if I write a letter, I'm not accepting no collect calls and I'm definitely not putting no money on your books. Okay? That ain't my thing. That ain't for me. Just not for me. And he was like, it ain't even got to be all like that. He just needs somebody to talk to and all of this. I'm not a therapist. I said, they ain't got nobody in there he can talk to. I said, I'm pretty sure it's plenty of y'all in there that he can have somebody to talk to. He was like, you funny. I'm serious. And you can call it what you choose, but I'm telling you, I'm not interested. So, you know, well past what I knew and what I believed, right? I'm like, ugh, whatever. So I done talked to the man anyway, and he actually did get out. Now, you know, sometimes people will tell you just to hold you at bay. Oh yeah, well I'm supposed. These are stories that I've heard. They say, oh yeah, well I'm supposed to get out in 3 months and 6 months, blah blah blah, whatever. But they tell women this stuff, to just to have them holding on until they actually get out. They want to build a rapport. They want to build a relationship. So now and then they telling you all this mess, feeding you all this jailhouse talk and all the nonsense, right? Until, they got a lot of game, but it's not that much when you talking to somebody that got game too, right? Now, let's get into it. So, this dude, he gets out, and I think we talked a couple times before he got out, but he did get out immediately. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell my cousin, listen, I don't know what you think this is gonna be, but this definitely ain't gonna turn into that. He was like, whatever. So I'm pretty sure they done had some good conversation about who I was, what it was gonna be, and what they thought it was. Not true. So he gets out, and we talked a lot at first, and then we started hanging out and stuff. He actually turned out to be a decent guy. Okay, I don't know what he was in there for. I don't have a clue. Blah blah blah. I wasn't interested because it was not my intent to be talking to him for no long period of time. Okay, now, like I said, he turned out to be a decent guy. This, that, and the third. He did have, I think, 2 kids. He said before he went in there, he wasn't in there for a long time. I got some information, blah, blah, blah. Definitely asked the information that I needed to know. You ain't killed nobody or none of that. You ain't hurt nobody, that kind of stuff. That's important. But anywho, being locked up is important too. So, nevertheless, talking, hanging out, and this, that, and the third, blah, 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 right? So now he is coming over on a regular basis. And I'm like, and where do you live? Now, he stayed further south than I did. So, okay. Now, you barely talking about your kids. You ain't talking about what's going on at the home front or none of that. But what he was doing was you leaving your house from further south from me, but you passing me going on the low end, right? Down to the projects. And I'm like, you sure be down there a lot. What's happening down there? He was like, oh, nothing too much. Just hanging out with my people and this, that, and the third and all that, which I wasn't mad about it because you're not my man. But anywho, time progressed, and this probably went on for maybe a couple months, few months, whatever it was. And like, okay, so now we actually have this really good friendship, but it seemed like it's going a little bit further. But I'm always on high alert all the time because if something don't feel right, don't sound right, don't look right, 9 times out of 10 it ain't right. So now, I'm like, you sure hanging out down there a lot. What y'all got going on? Oh, nothing. We just down there shooting the stuff, kicking it, hanging out, blah blah blah, and all of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Now, here I go. I said, now you know where I live. You know where I'm at. Me and my buddies never. Now, let me tell you one thing. My granny always told me. She said, you do not introduce people to everybody that you know, everybody that you around, and you definitely don't take everybody to everywhere that you hang out, that you go, that you be, and all of this. So, I was very, very smart about doing that. And anywho, so now let me get to the meat. Okay, I goes over to one of my friends' cousin house one day, right? All of us just hanging out. I think it was like a birthday party or something. Hanging out over there, and I took him with me. This is one time. Now you done met a couple of my buddies. That was it. We wasn't going no further than that, right? I was just a little leery. Anyway, so he met them. We actually had a good time. They liked him. Good conversationalist and all of this, right? Now, I remember one time he was calling me and I was already out and about, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't get a hold of him. So I went on and did my own thing. I'm hanging out and somebody is knocking at the back door. Now, we having a good time. I'm not at home. I'm at somebody else's house. The same house that I took you to. And my friend was like, who is that knocking at the back door? Don't nobody knock at this back door. Because he couldn't get in through the front because somebody has to either buzz you in or come and let you in, right? So I guess he didn't know which bell to ring. He goes around to the back. And we open the door. Like, who is it? He said his name. Now we got to give him a name. I'm going to call him No No. Because everything well, not everything, but a lot of things that he did was a no, no. Okay? That was the first one. Now, you can't do this. Don't show up where I'm at. Do not pop up at my people's house, at my buddy's house looking for me. If I didn't answer, maybe I didn't want to be bothered. Okay? Now, he was like, I'm like, what you doing over here? He was like, well, I just figured you was over here because you wasn't at home and you didn't answer the phone. So you just all over the city looking for me. For what? And he was like, well, you here, ain't you? And I'm looking like, ooh, wait. Okay. Now, so that was that. We hung out, we kicked it, da da da. Now, let's go a little bit further. Now, this particular day, it was just like any other day. You didn't bypass me and you went down on the low end to the projects, right? So, I get a phone call. and some girl name came up on call ID, right? And it's not like, well, it's not, it wasn't like, well, now I don't want to say that. It's definitely not like it is today. Well, if somebody call you and you like, who is this? I don't know this. Ain't in my contacts. Did no number come up. I don't know who this is. But see, back then, you always hung out with a bunch of people that might be at somebody else's house. Their phone might be dead, or they might be using somebody else's phone, whatever. And so, it was simpler then to answer. It ain't like today with all the scam likely mess. Anywho, so I'm answering the phone. I'm like, who is this? And I'm like, hello? And she said, can I speak to Kitty? I said, this is Kitty. And she said, oh, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm good. Who is this? She was like, oh, this so and so. Here I go. Oh yeah, you No-No's cousin, right? And she was like, his cousin? She said, no, I'm not his cousin. I'm his kid's mother. Here I go, what? She said, yeah, I'm his kid's mother. I said, wow. I said, he is such a liar. She was like, but you his cousin, right? I said, no, I'm not his cousin. And she said, wait a minute. So if I'm his girlfriend, who are you? I said, I thought I was his girlfriend too, but I guess not. Obviously not. And she was like, wow. She said, so he just been lying to both of us, huh? I said, clearly. But I wasn't too upset about it because I kind of knew. Just, you know how just something in the back of your head just always going to tell you what you need to know. And I'm like, I knew I was done at this point, right? So anywho, she was like, well, when is he coming back? I said, he'll be down here in a little bit. And she was like, when he get there, you call me, okay? I said, I will. We had a little bit more conversation, but that's not important. So he came, and now he looking just as crazy as he want to. And I'm like, I said, here I go. What's happening? He was like, nothing, where I was. I was just down there kicking it for a little bit before I came over here because I know I'm going to kick it with you for the rest of the. No, you not. You definitely not. That's what I'm saying in my head. But I don't want to blow the cover, right? My cover, her cover, or none of that. So I got to keep it smooth. Keep it G. Keep it gangster. And all of this. This was back then, y'all. I clearly am not like that no more. I don't live like that. Anywho, so he said, he was like, what's up? Yeah, I go, I don't know. You tell me. He said, what you mean? You tell me. And he was like, I don't know what you mean. I said, your cousin called. He said, oh yeah, she did. What she say? I said, she was just wondering where you was and what time you was coming over. And he was like, oh yeah, I called her later. Now, you saying this like she was supposed to call me. I didn't know this lady. I didn't give her my number, so where did she get my number from? She got it out of his phone. But see, I don't know if he thought we just was having some brief conversation and it just never was gonna get to that point or whatever. But women don't operate like that. And I'm just looking at him like you are so full of you know FOS. Okay, I just say that just FOS. Here I go. I said, well, your woman, your kid's mama, she want to talk to you. And he was like, oh, that ain't my, it's not. I got right on the phone to call this lady, and ooh, wee, it was a mouthful, honey. So he getting it from that end, and he definitely was getting it from my end. And he was like, he didn't know what to do. He was going crazy. He was like, I'm just gonna leave, and all of this, right? Because you got to run home to your woman and explain this. Y'all live together. Y'all got a whole little family. And what you thought you was going to do over here? What? What? Couldn't explain that. Couldn't break that down. Or none of that. I told him, sweetheart, don't ever. I don't like other women men. Okay? Just don't even bother. Don't come over here no more. Do not call me. Do not text. Don't do nothing. Just don't do nothing. And he was like, it ain't even like that, but I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call you so y'all can talk. I said, we already talked. I don't need to talk to her no further. And if I do, then that's gonna be on some other stuff and it ain't gonna have nothing to do with you because we already had that conversation. Okay. So, who child? I do not like liars, okay? I do not like people that feel the need to create and make up stories when you know it couldn't be further from the truth. It takes so much energy to tell a lie when you just could have told the truth. And I definitely wouldn't have been bothered, okay, at that point. And maybe he knew this. So that's why he did what he did the way that he did it, okay? But yeah, it's safe to say I was done. Oh, he definitely tried to come back, creep back, come down there hollering in my window and all of this nonsense. It's like, dude, no. I was, no. I said what I said and I meant every bit of it. I mean, we can't do nothing else. Okay, I don't even want to talk to you because I don't know if you're going to be telling lies again. So, yeah, no. Father first mind, people. If you say, nope, you ain't interested, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that, do not. Don't switch up. It ain't never going to be good. Because you said no in the first place for a reason. Keep it that way. Anywho, that is going to conclude this story time, y'all. And who child? I said, it feel like I done said a mouthful. Okay. So that concludes this story time, y'all. And I will see y'all for the next one. Bye.